Hey guys, I want to review an interesting fragrance today, and it's Floris's Bergamotto di Positano, and it's interesting for several different reasons. First of all, I find the name to be a bit different because you see the name Calabria used a lot in fragrances, especially those where bergamot is the star. And in here, I mean, it's named Bergamotto di Positano, so bergamot obviously should be the main player here. Even before we smell it, we should expect that. But they chose the city Positano. Positano is a city on the Amalfi Coast, and it's actually Calabria, which is a region in the southwest part of Italy, actually the southernmost tip, aside from Sicily. So that's actually that's the region that's famous for growing bergamot. I'm not sure if they get bergamot from anywhere else or if they're the major producers of bergamot for fragrance oils. But this is one of the few times where they sort of associate this with a different city. I just find that interesting. So this is an eau de parfum, and Floris, their pricing varies, but this range, that's eau de parfum concentration, goes for $185 retail. And I always speak highly of Floris because I think the quality matches really the price that they're asking for. I think that it's definitely worth the money. It's actually quite affordable for 100 ml of that quality. But actually, you can get these oftentimes discounted. Not all the Floris fragrances, but this one I picked up because it was discounted. And it is a relatively new release from them, newer. And it seems to be a nice unisex fragrance. So I got this for $90, which is exactly half the price. So let me tell you about this scent. And before we get into it, if I had to compare it to another scent and really show why it's unique, I think this fragrance that I'm talking about today is actually comparable a little bit to Nishane's Ambra Calabria. The scent, of course, is quite different, but the similarity is that, if you know this fragrance or you've heard people talk about it, it's considered, among connoisseurs, it's considered unique because obviously it's named amber, and Calabria in this case, right? As I mentioned, the citrus, home of the citrus. What makes this unique is actually they combine an amber accord, which should be quite sweet and maybe resinous, with a really strong kind of bitter green aspect coming from galbanum, and it's really hard to find that level of contrast in fragrances. That's what makes this scent unique. So it wears, creamy and very sweet, and at the same time refreshing. It has a bit of this breezy kind of slightly summery vibe. And when I talked about this fragrance, I said it was kind of perfect for like a summer night. There's this very romantic feel about it. Now, this fragrance by Floris is similar in terms of blending sweetness with citrus. So what's interesting is this, a lot of times when bergamot is listed as the main note, or it's put into the name of the fragrance and becomes the star of the show, it tends to be a very citrusy, tart, very refreshing, sharp kind of scent that makes it really perfect for summer. Now, what's really different about this is that I don't get very much acidity at all, if any, and there is really no tartness. So you're getting a different aspect of bergamot, I think. You're getting, so you do get the citrusy smell. Let's spray it, but it is weird because it doesn't smell at all sour or tart. Maybe just a touch, right? And it actually, in here, different from Nishane, instead of using an amber accord, a big ingredient here is actually vanilla. So this combination of vanilla with bergamot, a strong bergamot note, I find interesting. So it ends up having like a very smooth, creamy kind of texture and sweetness too. And it's this weird kind of, yeah, slightly citrusy yet very vanillic sort of scent that makes the scent feel a little bit feminine. And so I think those of you who are not into unisex scents at all, this is going to lean a little bit more feminine than unisex, I think. And also, there is some similarity to Neroli Voyage, which I reviewed, because all these Floris fragrances, I've found that they've kind of, built around an amber accord or some kind of woody base and sweetness. And this has some woodiness as well that's contributing to the depth and the sweetness in the background. But this one, so it's interesting that even without the sour tart qualities of bergamot, it manages to have a very beachy, Mediterranean, oceanic kind of vibe. And they actually do list C notes, but what I get, so, I thought initially that this would be a little bit too creamy, sweet, and even a bit dessert-like. So I'm reminded actually of like a lemon tart, that kind of sweetness, or even whipped cream. So it has this texture of whipped cream. So if that doesn't sound good, I would maybe stray away from it. But I thought that it would be too sweet and thus not really reminiscent of the of a marine environment. But actually, the more you wear it, you do pick up that atmosphere. There is something about it, they achieved it. And I think there's a little bit of saltiness here that makes it a little funky as well. The vanilla saltiness with the citrus, but it's this saltiness that I think helps to create the marine feel to the fragrance. And I think that's actually coming from the use of ginger here. So it adds a little bit of that freshness that's otherwise not really there. There's actually a green tea note. I don't get so much of that. I think that it is sort of kind of, again, helping to create the marine accord and balancing the otherwise fluffy vanillic scent with a little bit of, tea notes can have a slight smoky tinge or burnt feel. So that's kind of giving it a little bit of balance. All in all, it ends up wearing actually quite refreshing, and it works for the hot days despite having a pretty, strong vanilla note. So it's not easy to actually incorporate a vanilla note into a summer fragrance or a marine kind of scent, but they do that, and I think it's an interesting scent. Again, not for everyone because of the slight feminine tone, and also just the kind of odd combination of vanilla with citrus without that familiar tart citrus. This goes in a different direction. Yeah, and the other thing I'll say about this is there is another interesting note they use here, which is ambrette or musk mallow. And I have seen that several times, and you definitely, if you do know this note and you see it listed, you will get that scent. Essentially, wherever I've seen it, ambrette is a very interesting note because it has kind of different smells to it, different facets. And I have found, so smelling Le Labo's Ambrette 9, I think it's 9, and also this note is used in Diorome Intense, but more so actually in Byredo's, Mojave Ghost, right? So Byredo's Mojave Ghost is, it has this kind of creamy, fruity, tropical fruity, pear-like, yet creamy, nutty scent, and a lot of that is, of course, the fruit, sapodilla fruit, but the ambrette, I think, supporting it, because you get that similar scent in Ambrette 9 and other ambrette scents. You get that here as well. So it sort of pushes it a little bit more into this sweet, creamy direction that is not for everyone. But if you do like those scents, I can tell you, even if it is sweet and creamy and fluffy, it is still refreshing. Almost the same level of refreshing quality as Neroli Voyage, but Neroli Voyage, of course, uses neroli, which I think I actually ended up selling that fragrance. But if I remember, it had more of a soapy and more of a even more clean kind of feel to it. This one more sweet. And then of course the green tea ginger is a little bit interesting too. So this muskmallow gives us this I think kind of nutty, kind of fruity smell that is pretty unique, and yet at the same time obviously musky as well. So it's a interesting kind of musk note. So yeah, guys, very interesting fragrance. I think, you know, I initially thought I wouldn't keep it, but after a couple wearings, you know, there was no question about it. I'm gonna have this in my collection because it's very unique and it's actually quite enjoyable. Again, not for everyone. There's nothing masculine about this. It's just very soft and sweet. But I like it as a unique kind of marine scent, and it does transport me to the Mediterranean. And so, yeah, I think this is a really great find, especially since you can get this one discounted. I believe probably still, I'd have to check. So check it out, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye.